Vision allows a leader to clearly paint a picture of the future that inspires people and emboldens them to rise above fear, cynicism, and doubt. Hey, welcome again to Oscar Amisi's Leadership Podcast, where we are so passionate about leadership. We equip leaders with practical, high-capacity tools to drive social transformation. Every week we drop content on our YouTube channel. I'll encourage you to not just like it, but share it with your friends, those who are on a leadership journey like you are. And if you want more content, I'll challenge you to visit Amazon and pick out my latest book, Seed It Out, How Great Leaders Become Great Leader Makers. That will be a good decision you'll make, an investment for your leadership journey. We've been looking practically at leadership for the last couple of weeks, and we spent some time looking at servanthood as a model of leadership that is so counterculture, but yet with more results, more effective, more impactful, that would cause you to influence the people that you're leading in a way that you've never done before, if you are just to embrace the servanthood model of leadership. We want to switch gears this week and look at one key thing that is so important for any effective leader. Any great leader needs this skill. I want us to look at vision and visioning and why it is important. Vision and visioning, the benefits of it, and why vision and visioning is the greatest skill or the greatest tool that any leader should ever have. If you don't have it, then you will not be as impactful as you're supposed to be. You will be groping in darkness. What is envisioning? What is envisioning? I call envisioning the height of effective leadership. If you can't have a vision and you can't be able to envision the teams that you're leading, then you'll be short in terms of stature when it comes to leadership. But if you're able to envision that team that you're leading, then you'll be able to embrace what I call the height of effective leadership. This is how I define envisioning. Envisioning is the ability to passionately and clearly communicate your vision to those that you lead so convincingly that they buy into it and make it their own. Envisioning is the ability to passionately and clearly communicate your vision to those that you lead so convincingly that they buy into it and they make it their own. This is the essence of leadership. The essence of leadership is the ability to create vision, inspiration, momentum in a group of people. Without it, you're not leading. Without it, you won't be effective. And how does this start? It starts with a picture or an imagination of what the future could be, the possibilities that are there in the future, and then be able to clearly pass it and communicate it to those that you lead, that this is what I see we can become. This is what I see the future becoming. This is what it could be. This is where we are at, but this is what the future could hold for us, and be able to clearly communicate it to the people. You're able to clearly to the people that they are able to buy it. They get to a point where they move from the state of, I have to work for you, to a point where they say, I have understood the vision so much, I'm so sold out that now I want to help drive this vision. You've moved people from I have to I want to. Any leader who's able to do this will effectively lead their people, will see fruit in their leadership journey. Let's look at some of the benefits of envisioning. I'll give you 3 benefits of envision that I think this should challenge you to either find out, do I have a vision? And if I have it, am I communicating it as clearly and as passionately as I'm supposed to? 3 benefits of envisioning. Number 1, envisioning enhances perceptivity. Envisioning enhances perceptivity. Vision allows a leader to clearly paint a picture of the future that inspires people and emboldens them to rise above fear, cynicism, and doubt. They're able to rise above every obstacle, every mountain that stands in their way. They're able to look at it because of how clear they've been able to see the vision and say, you know what? We can surmount any mountain. We can walk through any valley until we see this. They put doubts aside, they put fear aside, they put cynicism aside, because as a leader, you've been able to create a picture of something bigger than themselves, something that gives them sleepless nights, something that makes them want to be part of something bigger than themselves that will bring change and transformation to society. Envisioning enhances perceptivity. Number 2, envisioning clarifies placement. It clarifies placement. You see, a clear and clearly communicated vision helps people to know where they should be placed in the organization, where they can add the most value. A clear and clearly communicated vision helps people to identify, this is where I'm aligned to. This is where I should be placed, and I'll be able to add the most value to this organization as it pursues this vision. In other words, envisioning helps in bringing alignment in an organization. We have so many people who are square pegs in a round hole. And some of them, it could be because they've never understood the vision. And the reason why they've never understood the vision is because maybe their leaders have never clearly communicated that vision. You see, when you clearly communicate that vision, your people are able to find out, is this where I can serve better? Is this where I feel like I'm a fish in water? I don't want to be a square peg in a round hole. I want to be in a place where I'm finding fulfillment, I'm fitting in, my gifts and talents are being utilized, other than being in a space where I'm struggling and wondering what am I doing here. It enhances placement. When you encounter some problems and challenges with people that you're looking at and you're like, these people are misplaced in the organization, maybe you need to ask yourself, is the vision clear? And have I clearly communicated it to the people? And are the people aligned to the vision that I'm talking about? That's number 2. Number 3, envisioning strengthens purpose. It strengthens purpose. You see, when envisioning is done properly, people find meaning in the future. They do. They also get to understand their role in the bigger picture of the organization, which helps them to appreciate that they are an important link between the present reality and what could be in the future. You want to move your people from just thinking, I'm a volunteer, I'm a worker, to a sense of ownership. While they don't say, this is where I work, they start saying, this is my organization, irrespective of their position in the organization. Why? Because it has strengthened their purpose. The fact that you clearly envisioned them, clearly communicated the vision of where you are at, where the organization is going, and their place in that organization, their purpose in the organization is strengthened. They own the organization. They start treating it as shareholders, owners, not just volunteers. They're not just in there, let me put it this way, they're not just in there for the paycheck at the end of the month. They know I'm here for more than just the paycheck. So number 1, it enhances perceptivity, it clarifies placement, and lastly on that score, it enhances purpose. Purpose. It strengthens purpose. Let me give you a small contrast of the difference between a leader who's visionary and a leader who's non-visionary. Let me give you a few characteristics of a leader who is a visionary leader, and the difference and the damage sometimes leaders who are not visionary can cause. 1, a visionary leader creates clarity and conciseness. People are not groping in darkness. People know where they're going. People know the route they're supposed to take. They're not groping in darkness. They create clarity and conciseness. But an unvisionary leader creates confusion and frustration. People don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Work is not predictable. So there's a lot of frustration because they're always moving pieces every other day. Goalposts are being shifted week in, week out. Why? Because the leader is not visionary. 2, a visionary leader creates stability among them. The fact that they know the vision, they know the destination, and they know what vehicle they are using or the mission they're using to get to that destination, and they know their place in the vision, man, it gives them stability. Those who are led become stable. Tomorrow is predictable. all things being equal, the next month, the next year, the years they'll be in that organization are predictable. They know you won't catch them by surprise because you've shifted goalposts. You've moved from vision X to Y. They know in the next couple of years, this is what we are working on. Stability is created. And if you flip that on the other side, an unvisionary leader creates instability among the leaders. When they don't know where they're going, they're unstable. They know you can come today and say, oh, we are a service industry. The next week you come and say, no, we're not a service industry. We are a manufacturing industry. Oh, we are not this. We are, so on and so forth. You keep on shifting goalposts. 3, a visionary leader will facilitate growth and momentum. In other words, create spaces and environments for people to grow that helps them to keep on growing in that organization and move upward in the organization and in their life. But the opposite of a visionary leader is that they will create frustration and stagnation. People don't move. You find the same people at the same place year in, year out. They've worked in the same place for the last 10 years, still in the same place, doing the same thing. They have never grown. All they're experiencing is stagnation. And if people are experiencing stagnation, they don't get to be exposed to new challenges. Frustration creeps in. And then lastly, a visionary leader intentionally creates a healthy culture. They know the destination. They know their role in getting to that destination. They know the role of their team players. Everything is clear. The environment is healthy. People are not backstabbing each other. People are not competing for air to breathe. People are not competing for space. They know their role in the organization. On the flip side, an unvisionary leader creates a toxic culture. When people don't know their role, people don't know where they are going, people don't know what's their space in that organization, they'll start pulling each other down. They start backbiting and backstabbing each other. And all of a sudden, the environment is so toxic. People are competing not to make the organization better, but to find their space because there's no predictability, there's no clarity. That's what happens when a leader is not visionary. And I want to call you and ask you, would you just take a step back and ask yourself, what's the vision of my organization if I'm a leader? And am I successfully and clearly envisioning the people in that organization? I mean, if I were not there, if somebody just picked them on the streets and asked them, what's the vision of this organization? Where does this organization want to be in the next 5 to 10 years? Would they be able to clearly communicate it? And if somebody gave them a second question, ask, what's your role in that vision? They'd be able to articulate it clearly and passionately. That's what a visionary leader does. That's why I said, if you don't have a vision, you don't envision, you become short in stature as far as leadership is concerned. But then if you have a vision, then you've been able to discover the height of effective leadership. I'm going to stop there on this part 1 of vision and visioning and why it's important to envision people. Join us next week for part 2 as we continue on this episode, as we continue to dig deeper on why as a leader you need to be a visionary leader who not only has a vision but envisions, because that's the essence of all leadership. See you next week for part 2 of this episode.